Talking about the offensive line, there's been some stirs out of OTAs. I don't know if we want to even call this camp. Is this mini camp yet, or is it still OTAs? Um,
Uh,
are
Same
they
thing.
interchangeable? I think that the
Yeah,
terms are
same
interchangeable.
thing.
Remember in like the Madden, like the franchise mode you do
Mm-hmm.
that you do like the mini camp and everything, and you could like play
Yep.
and do like the drills. Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, Matt Verderam, friend of the program actually, friend of the show, tweeted something about he wrote in his stacking the box column, and he does the podcast stacking the box. He does a column on Mondays. He said wrote about this in yesterday's stacking the box, but worth a tweet. I'm told the Chiefs are very happy with the early returns of guard Trey Smith and tight end Noah Gray, especially Smith. Also worth noting that Kyle Long has been good in OTAs as he returns from his retirement. Jordan, when you saw that tweet, what is your immediate thought?
Excitement, man. Like
Yeah.
very excited. I'm very high on Noah Gray. I think he's a guy that no one's gonna supplant Travis Kelsey. Like
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey, A is going to be at the top of his game for probably a couple more years, then still be a really good player. B, the Chiefs take some snaps away from him this year and kind of keep him fresh? I think that could be an option. But Noah Gray's a guy that will complement him extremely well in the offense. I think that he can do similar things. He can be used in similar ways. They can get him on the move and do some fun stuff. And like when you're covering Tyreek Hill, when you're covering Travis Kelsey, even McCall Hardman is a speed guy. There's going to be Cornell Powell, which we'll talk about probably here in a second at
Yeah.
some point. There's only so much attention you can give each guy. And a guy like Noah Gray, if he's out on the field, could be the benefactor of that and kind of pick up some underneath yardage and make some stuff happen after the catch. So I'm excited for Noah Gray. Trey Smith, man, the offensive line now and later is looking good for the Chiefs. Like,
Yes.
I think we've talked time and time again about how Trey Smith could have been a second or third round pick in that day two range had the medicals been checked out or not been an issue at least. He is going to be a good player, I think. And if he can stay healthy, and it seems like that is firmly in the rearview mirror, the Chiefs have their starting right guard for the foreseeable future. They have their starting left tackle for the foreseeable future. They have their starting center and their left guard. Niang at right tackle, ideally, eventually at some point. Like, not saying that Mike Remmers would need to get hurt in order for that to happen, but I think that this season, to pencil in Niang at right tackle probably isn't wise at this point. Like, it seems like every day that passes, it's more likely that Remmers takes that spot to start off, which is neither here nor there. But Trey Smith's going to be good. Man, I'm excited for him. And while we're talking rookies, I might as well throw in Cornell Powell.
Yeah.
I'm all in. Like, I think it was Matt Lane at KC Sports Network. His article was really good. That breakdown was awesome. It reassured me of everything I thought. Like, he has advanced footwork for a guy who's just coming into the league. He's savvy, and it's like a Jason Avant, Jeremy Maclin type that everyone's been throwing around those comps for a reason. Like, he's an Andy Reid style wide receiver who can do those things. Demarcus Robinson never drew those comps. Hardman never drew those comps. Byron Pringle never drew those comps. Like, there's a reason that people are hyping this fifth round pick up, and Brett Veach got more value on day 3, I think. And that's just his spot, dude. Like, day 3, Brett Veach just knocks it out of the park. He's got Nick Allegretti, Rashad Fenton, L'Jarius Sneed. Now these guys this year. He is, talk about the 2018 draft all you want. This one was pretty good.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of encouraging signs, and I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to the offensive line. Looks like for the long term, they should be set, and all the offensive linemen they drafted, which I mean was only Creed and Trey, they've gotten some hype and some run with the ones already in OTAs. Now I know LDT was absent for a little bit in terms of what they were doing with right guard, and I know that Kyle Long has been playing well. Listen, there's no competition on this offensive line. They're not going into the season knowing what their offensive line is going to be. I think that's a good thing. It's a good problem to have when you have Kyle Long, who's playing well, Trey Smith, who's playing well, LDT, who is, well, was the starting guard for a Super Bowl team until he got hurt, obviously. And was Newski end up playing that right guard position in the Super
I
Bowl?
think
Okay.
so.
That's what I thought. And then, you've got Niang, who I feel like we haven't talked about a whole lot, who hasn't got a whole lot of run since like OTAs when everyone was talking about his belly, but that didn't even matter. It's the biggest non-story ever. It's okay. Power rank the non-stories that we've had so far this offseason. I think Patrick Mahomes saying he wants to go 20-0 is up there at like number one, is like the biggest non-story. And then right underneath that is probably Lucas Niang having a belly. No duh, he's got a belly. He's an offensive lineman in this league. He's not like
and he's always had one.
Yes.
Like, you can pull up pictures of him in college that he has a belly too. Like, he is just a big human being and he's athletic as hell. Like,
Yes.
it doesn't do anything for me that maybe he was like just a tad bit out of shape, and you can't prove that he was. He was moving well and getting stuff done. Was it pretty? No, but you don't have to be pretty in order to do your job in the NFL. And
Right.
speaking of guys that the opposite of pretty, man, I have a bad feeling about LDT. Like, not in terms of him not being able to do the job and not coming back and playing in the NFL, but like as a Chief, I don't know. Like, I know that the cap doesn't do anything for them to cut him. I know he has the no trade clause, but with Kyle Long playing well, with Trey Smith probably as good as LDT right now, and playing well in camp or OTAs, whatever you want to call it, with Niang having guard flexibility, you can only keep so many guys. With Andrew Wiley still in the picture, who can play pretty much everywhere, with Allegretti on the other side, like, you can only keep a finite amount, like 11 or 12, depending on practice squad availability and all that stuff. But I don't know where LDT slots in here. Like, at the beginning of the offseason when the Chiefs first signed Kyle Long, it was, oh, well, LDT will have that job. Long can be like a swing tackle who can just play a little bit of everything, back up. Kyle Long is, like, I think, going to run away with it. I'm pretty sure that I'd bet on Kyle Long doing that. And that's not anything against LDT. Like, don't get me wrong, I like him, but it's just reading between the lines and looking at everything that's happened, that situation just doesn't feel right to me.
That will do it for today's podcast preview. If you enjoyed the preview, make sure to check out the full show out on your favorite podcast provider. Don't know how to find it? Go to smarturl.it/roughing. Got a splash page. You can find your favorite provider there and find the show there, or go into the search bar of your favorite show, type in Roughing the Kicker. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. It really helps us out. If you enjoy the channel and the podcast as a whole, subscribe and obviously get that notification bell on, because you don't want to miss any more podcast previews. We'll be back with another video soon. So until then, I'll talk to you next time.